Hello friends, so myself Shrirang Korle. We will continue where we stopped in the previous video. So we did steps 1, 2 and 3. So we have done those steps, and now at the end of step 3, essentially we came to this conclusion, that means when j is equal to 8, that means j plus 1 is 9. This particular condition, that means p of 9 is not less than p of 5, so it has failed. Okay, and I is not less than h. So that's where we stop. Now what we need to do is, where we essentially have stopped or if the condition fails, so what we now need to do is we need to mark this particular j where it essentially failed, and obviously I we know. Okay, so we will now mark this. So let me just do a marking here. So I will mark as part of this particular step, and we can consider this as another step, say S4, doesn't matter. So I will just mark j. So I will put index, or I will mark it. So what is p of j? Essentially p of j. And then obviously after doing that, means I will get p of j, and obviously I will mark I and p of I. So we know that. Okay. So that means now what is, when I say that I want to mark, that means j is equal to 8. That is where it failed. So p of 8. So p of 8 as per our this one. So we can go here and see. I'm scrolling it up. So p of 8 is g. Okay. So p of 8 is basically g, and I, obviously we know that it is constant. So I is 6. So that means p of 6 is b. P of 6 is b. So this is p of 6 is b. So there is no issue in that. We know that I is constant. So now once we have marked it, so we are done with the important step. That means now we need to do some other steps, that is say S5. And what is the S5? Now once we have marked it, we need to do a swapping. So here I am going to do swapping. That means I am going to do interchange. That means, or exchange. I am going to do exchange of what? So I am going to do exchange of p of I minus 1 and p of j. Okay, here please note, we got I is equal to 6, so this was p of I. Now we are talking about exchanging p of I minus 1 and pj. Okay, so when I say this, that means p of I minus 1 is essentially p of 5. Why? Because I is 6, so this is p of 5. So p of 5 is h, and p of 8. Why? Because this particular j is 8, so p of 8 is g. So we know this now. Okay, so we will do swapping. So what we will now do is, so let me just copy this thing here, what we have written, and now we will do swapping. So that means if I do a swapping, so that means 5 will be now having g, so this particular thing will have g, and this particular thing 8 essentially will have h. Okay, so we have done the swapping. Now once we have done the swapping, we are almost now done with our job. So now the last some more steps, or very minor steps now are, so we will do a step say 6. So we are once again going to do marking of I and p of I. So we are just going to do marking of p of I and p of I. So here now we know that I is 6. So this is just more like I told you, like this is more like just remembering what we are doing. So now here p of I, now I is 6. So what is 6 now? So p of 6 essentially is b now. So p of 6 is b. Why? Because now we have done all this exchange and all that. Now after exchange we are marking this. Okay, so we marked it. Now comes the last step. So we are done now, almost we are done. So the last step now is, so we will basically do it like this. So what we are going to do now is that we are going to do reverse. So we are going to do reversing of elements from p of I. From p of I till end. Okay, so we do. That means now when we are going to do this reversing, while, so here let me write the condition, while from first element till the element before P of I, that is very important, before P of I remains same. Okay, so what does it mean? Reversing the elements from P of I till, and while element from first element till element before P of I. So what is that element before P of I? So here you will see this particular thing is P of I is P6. Okay, so that means now this particular thing. So I am going to copy this and put it here. So this is F, J, A, D, C, G. Now what does it mean? I am going to reversing of the elements from P of I till end. So I am going to now do reversing. So when I do reversing, what is going to happen is, now here this particular I will come here, which was last. So this I am going to do reversing of this, which I am marking it here. So I, then there will be H, then there will be E, and then there will be B. So this essentially is your answer. This is the answer which we, this is the answer, that means F, J, A, D, C, G, I, H, E, B. This is the answer. That means this is the previous permutation. This is the previous permutation of the thing that was given to you. So this is the answer. That means this is previous permutation. So previous permutation is F, J, A, D, C, G, I, H, E, B. So I hope you understood this concept. That means you got how to carry out or how to find a previous permutation from the string or from the permutation that is given to you, which is essentially a permutation of characters A to I. Thank you.